This one-bedroom flat in West Hampstead went from £303,000 to £450,000 in the time it took to do the refurb. If you own a flat or you're planning to invest in one, the fastest and cheapest way to add value is to add a bedroom. But here's the part nobody talks about. Even after you've reconfigured the flat perfectly, you still need to make sure that the surveyor actually gives you the valuation you deserve. Most down valuations don't happen because the deal is bad, they happen because the surveyor simply doesn't have enough information. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact Surveyor Pack Blueprint I use, what to include, how to find comparables, how to present the evidence, and how to walk the surveyor through the property so you maximize your valuation. This pack alone has saved me tens of thousands of pounds, and today I'm giving it to you. Part 1. Why you need a surveyor pack. When it comes to refinancing or selling a flat you've added value to, there's one thing that can completely change the outcome, and that's whether the surveyor gives you the valuation you're expecting. And here's the truth that most investors learn too late. The number one cause of down valuations isn't the market, it isn't the property, it's the information gap. Surveyors walk into your property completely cold. They don't know what it looked like before, they don't know how much work you've done, they don't know the comparables you're basing your valuation on. They don't know how the layout changes you have made and how much value those changes have added, or why your flat should be compared to the top end of the market. A surveyor has 30 minutes to understand what took you weeks or maybe even months to create. So what happens? When a surveyor doesn't have enough information, they default to caution. And cautious valuations equal lower valuations. This leads to 3 painful outcomes when your flat gets downvalued. 1. Appeal the valuation. You can try using by providing at least 3 comparables to your broker, but here's the hard truth. Appeals almost never succeed. Lenders nearly always side with their surveyor unless there's clear factual error. 2. Start again with another lender. This means a new application, new fees, a new valuation, and more delays. And in the worst case, the same or lower valuation anyway. If you're trying to refinance quickly to pull out your money, this delay can completely destroy your timeline. 3. Accept the lower valuation. Easily the most painful option. You've spent weeks refurbishing your flat, you've added a bedroom, you've increased the rental income, but you don't get the uplift you've created. Your refinance numbers suffer, your return on investment drops, and the whole strategy weakens. This is exactly why you need a surveyor pack. A surveyor pack lets you control the narrative before the surveyor even forms their opinion. Instead of guessing, they get before and after photos, a costed schedule of works, updated floor plans, strong comparables, lease details, freeholder consent, everything they need to confidently justify a higher valuation. A strong surveyor pack doesn't manipulate the valuation, it simply gives the surveyor the evidence they need to value your property correctly. This pack alone has saved me tens of thousands of pounds across my projects, and later in this video I'll show you exactly how to create it for yourself. Part 2. What to include in your surveyor pack. Now let's go through exactly what you need to include in your surveyor pack, because this is where most people go wrong. The surveyor pack is your chance to control the narrative before the surveyor forms an opinion on your flat. Instead of hoping they'll get it, you're giving them everything they need in a clear, structured way. Here's what goes inside. Before photos. Start by showing the surveyor what the flat looked like before you started. This immediately demonstrates the level of improvement and sets the foundation for uplift in value. If you bought the flat through an estate agent, just use the original listing photos. They're perfect for this. Then show the finished flat. Make this look as strong as possible. Get a proper photographer if you can. I often use an Airbnb photographer because they know exactly how to make small spaces look great. They bring their own lighting, know how to frame each shot, and understand what makes an apartment stand out. When the surveyor can visually see the quality of the upgrade, you're already putting them in a position to value it higher, before and after floor plans. This is crucial, especially if you've added a bedroom. Show the original layout side by side with your new layout so the surveyor can clearly see how the space has been improved and why your flat should now be compared with 2 or even 3 bedroom properties instead of the 1 beds. Use the floor plan from the original Rightmove listing for the before. For the after, you can use apps like Magic Plan, Room Scan, or hire someone on Fiverr to draw them professionally. If you need help with this step, drop me a message and I can introduce you to someone I use. Costed schedule of works. Next, include a breakdown of the work that you've done and how much it cost. This proves the uplift isn't just cosmetic, you genuinely invested into the property. It also shows the surveyor the level of work completed, which supports a stronger valuation. And here's a key point. If you've installed high-end fixtures and fittings, appliances or flooring, showcase them. Otherwise, the surveyor will assume you've shopped everything from B&Q or Wix. Comparables. This is one of the most important parts. Don't assume the surveyor will find the right comparables for you. They won't. You want at least 3 sold comparables that match your flat in location, size, number of bedrooms, and standard of finish. These are the properties your flat should be compared against, not the tired one bed it used to be. In your pack, include a short explanation as to why you chose each comparable based on proximity, similar condition, same layout, type of building. This makes it incredibly easy for the surveyor to justify the higher valuation. Lease details and freeholder consent. If you've changed the layout, include your freeholder's written consent. This removes any doubt about legality and shows the lender that the flat is fully compliant. Also include the length of the lease, service charge, ground rent. The clearer the section is, the smoother the valuation will go. A printed copy for the surveyor. Finally, this is key. Hand the surveyor a printed copy of the pack on valuation day. Walk them through the flat, highlight the changes and let them take the pack away. This alone increases your chances of achieving the valuation you want because the surveyor is leaving with all the evidence they need to back up the number. That's everything you need in your surveyor pack. In the next part of the video, I'll show you exactly how to find strong comparables because choosing the wrong ones is one of the biggest reasons people get downvalued. Part 3, how to find strong comparables. Now let's talk about one of the most important parts of your surveyor pack, the comparables. Finding strong comparables is what justifies your target valuation. If you get this part wrong, your valuation will almost always come in low, even if the flat is amazing. How do you find the right comps? Let me walk you through it step by step. Rightmove sold prices. Go to Rightmove house prices, sold prices, type in the postcode of your flat and look for recently sold properties. Same number of bedrooms, ideally similar internal condition. Rightmove is great because it gives you photos and floor plans, so you can see whether the condition and layout genuinely match your flat. Now, if you've reconfigured a 1-bedroom apartment, it's likely to be smaller than the average 2-bedroom apartment, but don't worry. You have to bear in mind that a 2-bed flat has to be worth more than a 1-bed flat, even if it's smaller than the average 2-bedroom apartment. Land registry sold data. Rightmove is helpful, but one source surveyors trust the most is Land Registry. Land Registry tells you the exact sold price, the sale date, the legal completion date. If you want 100% verified data, this is the gold standard. It doesn't include photos, but it confirms hard numbers. propertydata.co.uk. If you use property data or similar tools, you can filter by radius, property type, number of bedrooms, sales date ranges. This quickly helps shortlist the strongest comparables and see whether your target valuation sits comfortably within the market range. Ask the estate agent who sold you the flat. This one is massively underrated and my go-to. Estate agents know exactly what similar flats have sold for, off market or before hitting the portals, especially in blocks where they regularly sell units. Just ask them, what have other 2 beds in this street or block sold for recently? Sometimes the best comparables are the ones that never hit Rightmove. The agents will have the data on flats that have completed as recent as yesterday. Those sales will take months before they're appearing on Rightmove. How to filter comparables the right way. Finding comps is easy. Filtering them properly is what makes the valuation stick. Here's how to filter like a surveyor. Same building if possible. The strongest comparable you will ever get is a flat in the same block because it will have the same service charge, same construction, same layout style, same amenities, same freeholder. Surveyors love same building comparables. If not, the same street or the immediately neighbouring street. Don't use comps half a mile away, even if they look similar. Surveyors prefer properties within a very tight radius. Match the floor level if you can. A 3rd floor flat with lift access isn't comparable to a basement flat. A top floor walk-up won't compare neatly with a ground floor garden flat. Try to match floor level or at least acknowledge the difference in your summary. Match the era of construction. There is another mistake people make. You can't compare a Victorian conversion with a 1990s purpose-built block, even if they both have 2 bedrooms. The values per square foot can be completely different. Keep your comparables within the same type of building. Why you can't rely on the surveyor to do this? This part's important and most investors don't realize it. Surveyors do not have the time to go hunting for the perfect comparables. They get 30 to 45 minutes in your property, a fixed fee from the lender, and no incentive to research deeply. So if they can't quickly find the right evidence online, they default to caution. And cautious valuations equal lower valuations. That's why you need to do the work for them. By giving them hand-picked comparables that match your flat precisely, you're making their job easy and dramatically increasing the chances of getting the valuation that you want. Part 4. Costed schedule of works. Now let's talk about one of the most underrated parts of the Surveyor Pack, the costed schedule of works. Most investors either skip this completely or hand the surveyor a long, complicated builder's quote that doesn't actually help the valuation at all. We're not doing that. We want something clean, simple, and impossible for the surveyor to misunderstand. Surveyors love clarity. If your pack is simple and easy to understand, they are far more confident in valuing at the upper end. So what is a costed schedule of works? It's a clear breakdown of the work that you've carried out, the areas that you've improved, and how much you've invested into each part of the flat. Let me show you how I structure mine. This exact format has helped me justify uplift after uplift. 1. Break it down room by room. Don't give them a big lump sum like refurbishment works £28,000. This tells the surveyor nothing. Instead, break it down like this: living room, flooring, electrics, replastering, kitchen installation, units, appliances, plumbing, bathroom refurbishment, tiling, plumbing, sanitary ware, bedroom, decoration, flooring, hallway, decoration, lighting. This instantly shows the level of work done across the flat. 2. Materials and labour. Next to each room, add 2 simple numbers: material costs, labour costs. For example, kitchen materials £3,250, labour £1,800. So total £5,050. It doesn't have to be super detailed. In fact, surveyors prefer simple and clear over technical and messy. You're not proving your budget, you're demonstrating the quality and extent of the improvements. 3. Add a total at the bottom. This is powerful because it quantifies your investment. Total investment into this refurbishment, £50,300. This helps the surveyor justify your £70,000 to £120,000 uplift isn't just fantasy, it's backed by real improvements. Surveyors aren't valuing your flat based on what you think it's worth, they value it based on evidence. And your costed schedule of work shows you didn't just repaint, you upgraded the property, you improved multiple rooms, you've invested real money into the project. The uplift has a foundation in actual spend and actual improvements. When surveyors see this, they feel more confident pushing towards the upper end of the valuation range because they can justify it. Here's a real example from my West Hampstead project. Notice how simple it is, room by room, with a total which includes labour and materials, nothing complicated. This is the exact format I'll give you in the Surveyor Blueprint Pack, so you can literally copy and paste and start using it in your own deals. Part 5. Before and after photos. Let's talk about one of the most powerful parts of your Surveyor Pack, the before and after photos. Most people massively underestimate how important this section is. In fact, a good set of before and after photos can be the difference between your surveyor thinking nice refurb versus wow, this is a completely different property. And their reaction matters because surveyors are human. Visual evidence helps them justify a higher valuation. Before photos. Show the true starting point. Start with the photos from when you bought the flat. These are usually the ones from the estate agent's original listing, and they're perfect because they show the original layout, the dated condition, poor lighting, old flooring, old kitchen, old bathroom, and most importantly, they show why your upgrade deserves an uplift in value. When the surveyor sees the contrast, it instantly strengthens your case. After photos. Make the upgrade impossible to ignore. Next, include the photos of your completed refurb. And here's my advice. Don't take the photos yourself. It's worth paying for a proper photographer. I often use Airbnb photographers because they know how to shoot small flats. They use wide angle lenses. They bring lighting. They make your space look its absolute best. Remember, the surveyor will only spend about 30 minutes in your flat. If they forget something, the after photos inside your pack will remind them of the quality. Great visuals, strong confidence in your valuation. 3. Show the transformation clearly. If you can, pair the photos side by side. So for example, the old kitchen with the new bedroom, the old living room with the new open plan kitchen diner, the old bathroom to the new bathroom, and the old flooring to the new finish throughout. This makes the uplift obvious. The surveyor should be thinking, this isn't just a light refurb, real value has been added. Why this matters. Photos aren't just decoration. They provide 3 critical things. They prove the extent of the work, they show the quality of the finish, and they support the comparables you've selected. And most importantly, they justify the higher valuation better than words ever could. Photos also help the surveyor remember your property accurately when they are back at the office writing their report, which is often days later. So now that you've seen how to present your before and after photos, let's move on to the next part, because this is where the valuation is won or lost. What to do on valuation day, and how to walk the surveyor through your flat so you maximize your chances of getting the number that you want. Alright, now let's talk about the valuation day. Because this is the moment everything comes together. You can have the best refurb, the best comparables, the best floor plan, but if you handle the valuation appointment the wrong way, you can still end up downvalued. So here's exactly what to do, step by step, to maximize your chances of getting the valuation that you deserve. 1. Be there in person. I know this sounds obvious, but so many people leave the surveyor to walk around alone. Huge mistake. When you're there in person, you can explain the upgrades, you can answer questions instantly, you can guide their attention to the key value-adding areas. A surveyor will always value with more confidence when the owner clearly understands the property. 2. Start with a quick overview, 30 seconds. As soon as they arrive, say something like, "Thanks for coming, just to let you know this was originally a 1-bed flat, we've reconfigured it into a 2-bed by moving the kitchen and adding a new bedroom. All the works were done by qualified contractors and signed off by building control. I've prepared a pack for you with the comparables, before and after photos, and the costed schedule of works. Please take it with you." This does 3 important things. It shows professionalism, sets the tone for a higher valuation, and hands the evidence before they've formed an opinion. 3. Walk them through the flat with intention. You're not giving them a tour like a buyer, you're highlighting the value. Here's how. Kitchen, living room, open plan. This was originally the living room. We've moved the kitchen in here, which allowed us to create a 2nd bedroom, new bedroom. This room used to be the kitchen, now it's a full double bedroom with natural light and ventilation. Bathroom. If upgraded, explain materials, fixtures and quality, and any premium finishes, tiles, flooring, appliances. Mention anything that places you above average finish. Keep it short, confident and factual. 4. Mention comparables, but don't oversell. Surveyors don't like being told what number to hit. They do like helpful evidence. So using phrasing like, "Just to let you know, the recent 2-bed sale in this block completed at X. That's included in the pack for you." That's it. No pressure, no "this must be the value," just helpful information. Give them the pack printed, not emailed. This part is crucial. Print the pack, bind it, make it professional. Say, "Here's the pack with the comparables, before and after photos, costs, lease information and freeholder consent. Please feel free to take it back with you. It has everything you'll need." A printed pack does 2 things. It makes their job easier and it signals professionalism, which increases the trust in you and the property. Surveyors love well-prepared owners. 6. Be respectful of their time. Don't follow them around like a shadow. Don't talk non-stop. Let them assess the property quietly. Your job is to support, not pressure. Think of it like this. You're the co-pilot, not the pilot. Final words before they leave. As they're finishing, say, "If you need any extra information, comparables, invoices or certificates, just let me know. I'm happy to send anything across." This lets them know you're transparent, You've nothing to hide, you're prepared and credible. All this helps them feel more comfortable valuing at the top end. Final tip, surveyors remember confidence and clarity. When you present your project clearly, professionally, calmly, it actually influences the surveyor's perception of your property. Not in a manipulative way, but in a confidence way. They feel comfortable giving a strong valuation because they've seen the evidence, they understand the logic, and you've made their job easier. The goal is simple. Make it easy for them to justify the number that you want. And this valuation day approach does exactly that. If you want my full Surveyor Pack Blueprint, the exact template I use on valuation day, comment blueprint below and I'll send it to you. Don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you on the next video.